Hi, it's Gab, and I'm reviewing a new film called Mud. It's a small independent drama that's made the film festival circuit and gotten a lot of critical buzz about it. The only main star is Matthew McConaughey, but the story centers on a boy named Ellis and his friend. Ellis is 14 and live at a small sort of seaside fishing-related village, and they go off exploring, just average like young boys do, and they find an island where a man named Mud, Matthew McConaughey, is staying seemingly in hiding because he's committed a crime, but he's very charismatic. He draws these boys in, and he gets them to help him with some food and fixing up a boat, a getaway boat, and they form this relationship with him because they're kind of intrigued by him, and Ellis in particular feels an affinity towards Mud's story. He's waiting to hook up with his girlfriend to get away, and Ellis is very taken by this sort of romantic vision of this guy and his girlfriend. Ellis has problems at home. His parents are separating, and he also has girl problems, as 14-year-old boys tend to do. So he sort of latches onto this romantic notion that Mud represents, and I found that a really interesting angle to take, rather than just the father figure angle or the sort of mesmerized by the sort of rogue criminal angle that you would think the writer would have gone in those directions with Ellis's character. So I liked that it was more about the concept of love that was sort of motivating this boy. The actor is very good. I don't remember his name offhand, and I can't recognize him from anything else. Young actors are touch and go, but he did very well, as did the other boy. The supporting cast is quite impressive. You've got Michael Shannon in there, and Sam Shepard. It's an interesting host of male characters in this film, which is nice to see. I'm not so much strong on the female characters, not really about the female characters so much, although Reese Witherspoon is the other star. She plays the girlfriend. The story, in some ways, we've seen this kind of thing before. It feels a bit Stand By Me-ish, made me think of Perfect World, some other films. So not an entirely unique story, although, like I said, it did some interesting things with the story. On the other hand, I found there were some story beats and some touches that were heavy-handed, a bit far-fetched, and it dragged on much too long, I think, for this kind of smaller story. It didn't need quite all the scenes and stretching out as this film does go over 2 hours. There's a bit of a foreboding tone. You know that there's going to be some sort of tense and negative activity that's going to occur, and yet it was unpredictable, and I like that. If not an entirely satisfying, really fair ending, which is to say that I would have liked a bit more realism, I think, probably in the story as far as these kinds of stories go. I can recommend Mud, although it's not something you have to see in a movie theater. It's not necessarily a big screen experience. Again, it's sort of an intimate, smaller story, but, an interesting one, nicely done. So that's Mud. If you like the sound of that kind of story, I encourage you to check it out. I'll give it 3 4/5 Gabs. Thanks for watching.